As a real rider, modding your bike is half the fun of owning one. Stock is fine if you're content blending into the background, but if you want a machine that looks better, rides sharper, and feels like it was built just for you, that's where the real magic happens. But forget the usual bolt-ons everybody already knows about. Today, we're diving into 10 secret motorcycle mods you've probably never seen, but absolutely should try. Some are clever, some are badass. All of them will make your bike smarter, tougher, and just flat out cooler. Number 10. Anti-theft bike alarm system with GPS tracking. Parking your bike anywhere these days feels like playing Russian roulette with your soul. You leave your bike sitting alone in a dark corner of a parking lot, praying it's still there when you come back. And if you think a simple steering lock is going to stop a determined thief, well, bless your optimistic little heart. That's why you need to think smarter, sneakier, and way more high-tech. And that's where a hidden anti-theft alarm system with GPS tracking becomes your new best friend. These systems are ridiculously clever. They're compact enough to hide deep inside your bike where no casual thief is going to spot them, and once armed, they turn your motorcycle into a paranoid screaming demon at the slightest hint of funny business. But the real magic happens if the worst case scenario plays out and some slimeball actually manages to make off with your bike. Instead of helplessly pacing the sidewalk and calling the cops, you pull up an app on your phone and watch the GPS dot move in real time. Some systems even allow you to remotely cut the ignition once you're close enough, turning their great escape into a very embarrassing walk of shame. Modern alarms are designed to be battery friendly and waterproof because Murphy's Law says the thief will only strike during a torrential downpour. They can operate independently from your bike's main power, and installation usually takes less time than it takes to figure out why your bike won't start after winter storage. You just wire it up, hide it somewhere sneaky, set it up on your phone, and boom, you've instantly outsmarted about 90% of criminals. Number 9. Hydraulic Clutch Conversion Kit. If you're still using a cable clutch in 2025, I've got bad news. You're living in the Stone Age. Sure, cable clutches have their charm, if you enjoy hand cramps and inconsistent lever pull. But if you like things smooth, easy, and just plain better, it's time to install a hydraulic clutch conversion kit. The difference is very huge. Instead of pulling against a gritty metal cable that's been through all 4 seasons of weather abuse, you're now controlling your clutch with the buttery goodness of hydraulic fluid. Every pull of the leather feels silky, precise, and tight. You don't realize how bad you had it until you feel how effortless shifting can be with a hydraulic setup. City traffic that used to leave your clutch hand feeling like you arm wrestled a silverback gorilla? Forget about it. With a hydraulic clutch, you'll be cruising through rush hour with one hand and a smug grin. One of the best parts of this upgrade is that it makes your clutch engagement consistent. Cables stretch, they wear out, they get sticky and weird in the rain. But hydraulic systems don't give a damn if it's hot, cold, wet, or dry. Every shift feels the same. Perfect. You'll start noticing how much more control you have in tight maneuvers, how much smoother your launches are, and how much less you're screaming at yourself in stop-and-go traffic. Installing a hydraulic clutch isn't exactly a just bolt it on and go situation, but it's not brain surgery either. You'll swap your lever assembly, run a hydraulic line, install a slave cylinder where the clutch cable used to yank, and bleed the system. Now, a word of brotherly advice. Don't buy some no-name hydraulic kit that looks like it was built by a high school metal shop class. Go with proven brands because the last thing you want is brake fluid dripping onto your bike mid-ride when you're riding in the middle of nowhere. Number 8. Customizable foot pegs. You ever finish a long ride and feel like you just got back from doing squats at the gym? Barefoot? On broken glass? Well, you can thank your stock foot pegs for that. See, most manufacturers treat foot pegs like an afterthought. Just 2 hunks of metal bolted on wherever they happen to fit. They're not thinking about your knees, your ankles, or your lower back screaming in agony after 100 miles. That's why customizable foot pegs are a secret mod you never knew you needed. These aren't your basic pegs either. I'm talking adjustable angle, different grip patterns, swappable materials, and even extensions that let you dial in exactly where and how your feet sit while you ride. It's the kind of mod you don't notice at first, until suddenly every shift feels sharper, every brake tap feels smoother, and your whole riding posture just feels right. Some guys like wide pegs for a bigger platform, especially off-road or ADV riders bouncing around on rocky trails. Some prefer narrow, aggressive teeth that bite into your boots for maximum grip when you're carving up twisties, and others just want something that doesn't feel like standing on medieval torture devices. The beauty is, you can pick exactly what works for you. Swapping them out is dead simple too. Most aftermarket foot pegs bolt right into your stock mounts with nothing more than basic hand tools and a little common sense. And don't even get me started on the looks. Custom foot pegs can give your bike that clean, aggressive touch that makes people at the gas station nudge each other and say, "Damn, that's a serious setup." Meanwhile, you're just smiling to yourself, knowing your feet are sitting pretty on pure mechanical perfection. Number 7. Carbon fiber mudguard. Now, I know what you're thinking. A mudguard? Seriously? How exciting can that be? But hear me out, because swapping to a carbon fiber mudguard is one of those stealthy mods that punches way above its weight class. First off, carbon fiber isn't just for superbike bros, it's legit science. Carbon fiber is stupidly strong, insanely light, and damn near impervious to weather and abuse. When you replace your stock mudguard, which probably weighs about as much as a small dog, with a carbon fiber one, you shave off a noticeable chunk of unsprung weight. And trust me, every ounce counts when it comes to handling. Less unsprung weight means your suspension doesn't have to work as hard to keep the wheels glued to the road. That translates to smoother rides, sharper cornering, and better traction when you need it most. You might not notice it cruising to the coffee shop, but the first time you throw your bike into a hard turn and it feels like it's reading your mind, yeah, you'll notice it then. And it's not just about performance either. Carbon fiber looks ridiculous in the best way possible. That deep weave, the glossy finish, the I paid for extra speed vibe, it all screams performance without you having to say a word. Plus, it's like a magnet for compliments at meets and gas stations. Everyone will ask where you got it, and you get to act all casual, like, oh, just upgraded a few things. Installation is usually plug and play too. Most carbon fiber fenders are built to exact OEM specs, so it's just a matter of swapping bolts, lining everything up, and resisting the urge to sit in your garage all night just staring at it. Some high-end versions even offer better coverage than stock, so you're not eating a face full of road grime every time you hit a puddle at speed. Number 6. Hidden tool compartment. Let's be honest, carrying tools on your bike usually sucks. Either you're cramming a ratchet set into your already overstuffed backpack, or you're shoving some sad little multi-tool under the seat and praying you never actually need it. That's why a hidden tool compartment is such an underrated, straight-up genius mod. The best hidden compartments are built into spots that would make a professional thief scratch their head. Think behind side panels, under faux air boxes, even inside modified frame tubes. Done right, it's completely invisible unless you know exactly where to look, which means it doesn't mess with the clean lines of your bike or make it look like you're hauling around a mobile workshop. What's even cooler is how you can customize what you carry. A couple hex wrenches, a compact ratchet, zip ties, spare fuses, maybe a tiny flashlight. You can fit all the essentials without feeling like you're loading out for a weekend camping trip. Plus, because it's hidden, you don't have to worry about some opportunistic scumbag grabbing your kit while you're inside paying for gas. Setting one up can be as simple or as involved as you want. Some guys get crafty with DIY compartments, using modified battery boxes or clever hollowed out sections of the frame. Others just buy bolt-on kits that replace useless stock parts with storage areas. Either way, it's one of those upgrades that feels so good when you need it. And trust me, eventually you will need it. Having a hidden tool compartment isn't about preparing for disaster, it's about knowing you're ready, staying cool under pressure, and looking like an absolute legend when your buddy's bike starts hemorrhaging bolts and you're the guy who saves the day. Number 5. Auxiliary fuse block. Most people don't want to hear about wiring, but if you're adding accessories like heated grips, extra lights, a phone charger, and a radar detector to your bike, then an auxiliary fuse box isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute game changer. Here's the dirty secret about most bikes. Their stock wiring isn't meant to handle a bunch of extra gadgets. Jam enough add-ons into your bike without proper management, and suddenly you've got a spaghetti mess of janky inline fuses and mystery wires bouncing around under your seat. Best case scenario, your bike looks like Frankenstein's monster. Worst case, something shorts out and you're trying to explain to your insurance company how your ride turned into a rolling bonfire. An auxiliary fuse block fixes all that by giving you a central, clean, and proper place to wire all your accessories. It's basically like adding a second electrical brain to your bike, one that's smarter, safer, and easier to troubleshoot if anything goes wrong. You run a single heavy gauge wire from your battery to the fuse block, then each accessory gets its own properly fused circuit. No guesswork, no crossed fingers, no what the hell does this wire even do? It also makes future upgrades a breeze. Want to add new LED driving lights 6 months down the line? Just tap into your fuse block. Want to install a horn that could wake the dead? Fuse block's waiting and ready. No more digging around behind the headlight housing like a raccoon tearing through trash cans. Most modern fuse blocks, like the one from Eastern Beaver or PDM60, even offer features like automatic switching, meaning your accessories turn off with the ignition so you don't accidentally drain your battery just because you forgot to unplug your phone charger at lunch. Installing one is one of those projects that make you feel like a real mechanic too. You'll be crimping wires, routing cables cleanly, zip tying everything down, and when you're done, you'll open your seat and actually smile instead of cringe. Trust me, nothing boosts garage cred faster than showing off a wiring setup that looks like it was built by a professional race team instead of the drunk cousin who works on cars. Number 4. Brake light modulators. If you ride motorcycles, you're basically invisible to most car drivers. You could be wearing a neon yellow jumpsuit, revving a 1200cc monster, and riding with flames shooting out of your tailpipe, and some zombie on their phone would still try to merge right into you. That's why a brake light modulator isn't just a cool gadget, it's straight up survival gear. Here's the deal. A brake light modulator makes your brake light flash rapidly a few times when you apply the brakes, then either stays on steady or pulses depending on the model. Why? Because human brains are wired to notice movement and flicker way more than a boring static red light. Flashing brake lights break the visual autopilot most drivers are stuck in. Instead of blending into the background, your bike instantly grabs their eyeballs and screams, "Hey, maybe don't rear end me." There's some real science behind this too. Studies show that flashing brake lights improve reaction times and reduce the number of collisions. And honestly, if there's even a 1% better chance that Karen in the giant SUV actually notices you stopping in traffic, it's worth every penny. Installing a brake light modulator is stupid simple. We're talking easier than assembling IKEA furniture levels of simple. Most are plug and play. You just unplug your brake light harness, stick the modulator in between, and zip tie it neatly out of the way. The hardest part is figuring out how to brag about it to your friends without sounding like a nerd. And don't worry about legality. In most places, modulators are totally street legal for motorcycles because they're all about safety. Some states have specific rules about how fast or how long the brake light can flash, but the better brands build their units to meet federal and state regs right out of the box. Plus, it's just plain satisfying when you come to a stop and you can see the cars behind you actually slow down faster. It makes you look cool and keeps you safe. Number 3. Fork preload adjusters. Alright, let's talk suspension for a second. Don't worry, I'm not about to drop into full race tech nerd mode. Just know this. Your fork preload adjusters are the secret handshake between you and a ride that feels custom tailored instead of factory forgettable. Here's the deal. Preload controls how much your suspension compresses under weight before you hit a bump. If you're heavier, carrying a passenger, packing gear for a weekend trip, or just riding a little harder than the average person, stock preload settings can feel way off. Too soft and your bike wallows like a boat. Too stiff and it feels like you're riding a jackhammer. This is where fork preload adjusters come in. They're little screw-top gadgets that replace your boring OEM fork caps and let you fine-tune your front suspension by hand, often without even busting out tools. A few turns clockwise stiffens things up. A few turns counterclockwise softens the ride. It's like adjusting the firmness of a luxury mattress. Preload adjusters also give you some serious street cred. Nobody notices your new clutch cable, but when you're cranking these anodized adjusters at a gas station, you look like a MotoGP pit crew chief dialing in suspension settings for a race. Plus, let's be honest, they just look cool. Bright anodized blue, red, gold. They add a subtle flash of "this guy knows what he's doing" to your bike. Installing them isn't hard either, but you'll want a front stand or something to lift the weight off your front wheels so the fork tubes aren't under tension when you swap out the caps. Once they're on, adjusting your ride takes about as long as it takes to change songs on your Bluetooth headset. Bottom line, fork preload adjusters are one of those upgrades that makes you feel the difference immediately. Better handling, better comfort, better control, without dropping $1,000 on a full suspension rebuild. You spent good money on your bike, why ride it like you're accepting whatever random settings the factory slapped on there? Number 2. Bar end turn signals. Most stock turn signals look like a sad afterthought. Big, clunky, plastic blobs sticking out like sore thumbs, ruining the clean lines of your bike. It's like the designers made this sleek, gorgeous machine and then thought, crap, we forgot blinkers. Just slap some bug eyes on there, whatever. That's why bar end turn signals are such a slick, next level mod, and once you see them, you'll wonder why every bike doesn't come this way from the factory. Instead of giant pumpkin-sized blinkers dangling off the front and rear, bar end turn signals integrate right into the ends of your handlebars. It's like stealth mode for your indicators. Clean, compact, stylish. These things are pure function meets form. But they're not just about looks, even though, let's be real, they do make your bike look 10 times cooler. Bar end signals actually make you more visible from multiple angles. Since they're out at the widest point of your bike, drivers in front of you and to the sides can see your intentions way better. That means less guessing, less honking, and way fewer "I swear I didn't see you" moments. Plus, they're LED based, they're insanely bright. I'm talking tiny sun bright. Hit your blinker and it's like setting off a tiny flare at the end of your bars. The installation is pretty straightforward too. If your bars are hollow, which most are, you just slide them in and tighten an expanding mechanism inside the tube. Wire them into your existing turn signal circuit and boom, instant style upgrade. Some kits are even plug and play if you're not feeling particularly electrically gifted. And if you're worried about durability, Don't be. Good bar end signals are built tough. They can survive tip-overs, weather, and even the occasional bonehead move like dropping your bike in the garage. Bottom line, bar end turn signals clean up the whole front end of your ride, boost visibility, and score you about 100 cool points instantly. This is the #1 must-do mod you didn't know you needed. Adjustable clutch and brake levers. Yeah, I get it. Levers? How exciting can that be? But stick with me, because this one changes everything about how your bike feels, and how much you enjoy riding it. Factory levers are designed to fit average hands. The problem? Nobody is actually average. You might have bear paws the size of dinner plates, or hands so small you could pickpocket a mouse. Either way, stock levers force you to adapt to them, and that's just wrong. Adjustable levers flip the script. They adapt to you. These beauties have tiny rotating adjusters that let you move the lever closer to or farther from the grip. Want a quick 2-finger clutch pull for fast shifting? Done. Prefer a little more reach for better braking leverage? No problem. Fine-tune it until it feels perfect, like the controls were custom molded for you. And let's talk comfort. Ever been stuck in stop-and-go traffic, squeezing a clutch lever that's just slightly too far away? After a while, it feels like you're milking a cow made of pain. Adjustable levers fix that. Suddenly, low-speed maneuvering, slow traffic, and long rides feel so much easier on your hands and forearms. No more death grip fatigue. No more cramping up halfway through your commute. Performance? Oh yeah, they help there too. Shorter, quicker lever throws mean faster clutch action and more precise braking. When you're ripping through a twisty road, you want that responsiveness. You don't want to be fumbling around for a lever like it's a mystery button on a spaceship. And then there's the style factor. Aftermarket adjustable levers come in a wide range of finishes: brushed aluminum, matte black, and race colors like red and blue. Some even have CNC matched cutouts and sharp design lines that just scream performance. They're like jewelry for your handlebars: tough, functional, and ridiculously good looking. Installation is pretty easy. Most bikes only require basic tools and about 30 to 45 minutes of work. A little grease here, a little Loctite there, and you'll have buttery smooth action that makes you wonder why you didn't do it years ago. Honestly, if there's one mod from this whole list that will immediately upgrade your day-to-day riding experience, it's adjustable clutch and brake levers. Which of these mods have you heard of? And which one does your bike have? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.